Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Brooke. I am 23 years old. I live in New York City. I'm a lifestyle vlogger. I have a podcast. It's a fun time around here. I feel like we haven't sat down and just had a good old-fashioned Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram, which you should definitely be following me at Brooke Michio. I update my stories every single day with what I'm doing in real time. And sometimes my vlogs or even videos like this can be behind a few weeks. So if you want to really keep up with me in real time and not miss anything, that's the place to do it. But anyways, I just feel like we need to catch up on a few things, and there's a few specific questions that kind of came to mind here. I have been really doing a lot of weekly vlogs, just vlogs and things like that, but I feel like we haven't, had a proper chat. And I've missed you guys. And while I have you here, give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more Q&As, chatty videos. This is how I started my channel, back in the day, so many years ago. And I really want to get back to this authentic feel of just sitting in my bedroom, wherever that may be, and connecting with you guys. Let's get into the questions. First up, how do you handle living alone / loneliness? I've been getting this question more than ever lately. I think with the pandemic, it's still going. For a while there, it was really manageable, and then this situation just never really ended. So I totally get why you guys are asking that. I do live alone, which I know prompts a lot of questions, and I work from home, which I'm so fortunate to do. But with that being said, there will be a 3 or 4 day span that I don't leave my apartment. I'll go to the gym. I'm so lucky I have a gym in my basement of my apartment complex building, whatever you want to say, but I won't physically go out into the world just because I'm there's no purpose. I'm trying to get better about that and forcing myself to, get out on walks and just explore. It's also the winter, so it's really tough. I also have a whole video on tips for living alone and just beating loneliness. A lot of it is background noise, calling friends, having stuff to look forward to. But for me, recently, what's really been helping with this is just kind of creating more of a purpose in my life. And I know this sounds so dramatic, and it's oh, find your inner purpose, whatever. But for so long, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, even when I didn't live alone, I was just lonely because I would lock myself in my room, watch a ton of YouTube and Netflix all day, and just kind of feel sorry for myself. I wasn't working out, or I wasn't doing anything good. I was just kind of just existing day by day. But this year I kind of had a resurgence in everything. I've obviously been on somewhat of a health journey. I've been losing weight, but even that aside, I just feel I've kind of recharged my purpose in terms of creating content for you guys and taking on exciting projects and just feeling motivated again. Not that the motivation for the work stuff really ended, but I kind of took some time to myself and really focused on what I want my future to look like and what I can do every single day to work towards that. No matter what your job is, if you work for yourself, if you don't, if you're a student, no matter what you are, I feel you can do this. And to me, that's how I combat the loneliness, and that's how I combat the dread of every day being the same, is just at least knowing that I'm working towards some sort of goals and that aligns with my purpose. Finding your purpose can be extremely difficult, and I feel finding your purpose can be extremely difficult, so I don't want to oversimplify that by any means. And I'm still am I doing the right thing? Is this supposed to be my life path? And it might be, it might not be. I don't really know. Who could be for certain on that, And it's not even just to romanticize being busy. I'm not trying to do that because I said, we are in a pandemic, so definitely give yourself a break. But for me, it's just how I genuinely fuel myself, and I feel more fulfilled when I don't just block off entire days at a time to stay in pajamas all day and do nothing, but I have 1 or 2 or 3 things every single day to look forward to, or that will get me to the next step of my life. I also really do having things on the calendar to look forward to. I think living alone, you could just get in this habit of just staying alone all the time. So even if that's something virtual, for me, it's really nice that if I work all week, I can have something on a Friday or a Saturday to look forward to getting dinner with a friend, or I'm so lucky I have my car in the city, I get to go home and see my parents, and that really gives me a greater purpose and recharges me. Right now, life is so hard, so just even having one small thing on the calendar could really propel you forward. So go watch my video for the greater living alone tips. I'll link it in a card. That's some recent ones. Next one, this was a really hot topic. Are you moving when your lease is up? So a little background. I moved into this unit in the city July of 2020. I believe I'm in a 13-month lease, So I believe my lease is up mid-August, early August. I just like always psych myself out. I'm like, wait, is that true? I love this building. I have amazing doormen. I have a gym. I have an amazing roof. It's actually close in the winter, but I have a roof. New York City apartments, not only are they expensive, but to live in a quote like luxury apartment like this, it blows my mind. Like I'm so beyond grateful. I have like these nice big windows, and it really is like my dream first New York City apartment. It's all that I could ask for. The fact that there's even a door and a wall, that I have a bedroom and the rest of my apartment is huge, because I was like, I'll probably live in a studio. Nothing wrong with that. That was the goal. But with that being said, I'm about 90% sure that I'm going to be moving. I will definitely be leaving this unit. 1000% without a doubt. This unit is great, but I didn't really think about specifically where things go. The format is kind of interesting. You guys will see when I eventually post an apartment tour, and you probably have seen when I've posted, I have an empty apartment tour up on my IGTV. It's tight, and that's all New York City apartments, do not get me wrong, but there's definitely neighborhoods that you could live in and ways that you could figure out how to get more space and save money at the same time. I do live downtown, so naturally like anything kind of downtown is more expensive, but I've just heard that people who are moving right now are getting better deals, and I feel like I kind of signed my lease like pretty quickly. I didn't really like scour for the best deals. I just toured this apartment. I was like, wow, I love it. It's perfect. And it really is. It's been, I couldn't imagine anything better or different for my first apartment. I would ideally love to have a little bit more space just because I do work from home. I would love to have like a proper desk set up with a proper chair, a proper table. I like eat all of my meals at my coffee table, which is not the most ideal, but that's New York City for you. It's expensive, it's small. It's so interesting hearing the different perspectives, because I'll like show my apartment and some people will be like, that is so small, you know, compared to like Texas or Minnesota or wherever it is. But then other people in New York City will be like, that apartment's huge for New York. So I do realize how freaking lucky I am. But since my job is mostly like work from home based, I kind of would like to have just, even if it's like a little bit more space, so I could like have a cool filming background or have a space to like podcast and like have a video camera. I don't know. Like I feel like I could take it to that next level, you know? But anyways, this is very exciting then, because over the summer we're gonna start an apartment to hunt. And I'm really excited for this apartment hunt because every move I've done so far, I moved from Georgia, where I went to college, to Boston, and then from Boston to here. And every time I only toured a few apartments, but this time I'm really going to go slow and steady, take my time, figure out exactly the location I want to be in, figure out exactly the type of unit, and really like nail it. This is gonna be like the real one for real. So stay tuned, that will be exciting. I don't even know what neighborhood I'm gonna move to. That's another question. People are like, are you gonna stay? I live in the Lower East Side right now. I love it down here. I'm about a 5 to 15 minute walk depending from like most of the like restaurants and the social scene. Not that I've really been able to experience it, so I would love to stay in the area, but like I said, I'm opening my options up just because the space factor and the price, like I feel like I could find a better deal. So that's that. Favorite ways to organize. People are asking, do I use a planner, digital calendar, notes? And the answer is I use a mix of all three. Since I graduated college, I realized that I really needed to find systems that work for me. In college, I just kind of like, I did like a digital calendar and I would make like little to-do lists and stuff. But since now this is my full-time job, I really have to, you know, make sure that I'm organized and that I'm organizing my sponsorships and my streams of income and getting everything kind of sorted out. I do use a paper planner. This is the one that I'm using right now, and I will tell you the reason why. I like it because this is just April, so I don't really have much in here except for the days that I'm posting videos, which is Tuesday and Saturday, and then Wednesday we post our podcast, so I like put those in there, but obviously nothing's planned yet. That's like kind of far ahead. I like it for the monthly spread. I like to be able to look at my month and know like, oh, I'm posting, you know, a video next Tuesday. Do I have that ready? Do I have that like pre-uploaded, good to go? I'm a very like visual person, so I need to be able to think ahead. This is just from Target. I mean, it's not like, oh, this is the greatest planner on the face of the earth, but it just like works for me. I have to say these are the best pens. I can link them down below. The Pilot G2 pens, but you have to get the 07, like the fine ones. They are so good. They're so smooth. They're like that liquidy like consistency. Like they almost have to dry. So good. And I use the pink for like just like a pop of color. Honestly, I don't color code or anything. And then just black. This is what like the daily spots look like. So I do like it in terms of, like I said, my big thing is to try to be like super realistic with my goals. I always have my weekly things that I know I have to get done. Like I have to post 2 videos a week and my podcast. I try to kind of schedule everything else out in there too. And I feel like that's a really good way to organize your life, is to have like your must-haves, like non-negotiables, and then the rest of everything else. And like that could kind of fill in this in between the spots that it's like, the must-dos. I also do use iCal. Okay, this is a popular debate. iCal or Google Cal. Everyone in my life uses Google Calendar. I don't like it. I mean, I don't know if I'm sorry, no offense to Google. I love the rest of their products. I have like the Google Home right here. I just don't like Google Calendar. I like iCal. It's on my Mac. I like the way that it looks. It's on my phone. It's on my watch. I know that you could do the same with Google Calendar, but I just am used to iCal now. And they could like sync pretty seamlessly. That's for more of like the scheduling stuff. Like if we have a podcast recording, obviously phone calls, like I do need to keep up with my calendar because I work with a lot of people also on the West Coast. So I have to keep in mind like time changes. So a calendar is essential, but I like a digital one because things change too often to like write it down. And then I do use Notes, just like the generic like Apple Notes app for just like a to-do list. Not every day, but if I'm having an especially busy day and I'm like, I need to get done like these 8 things or whatever, you know, if it's like I have to call my doctor, I have to like, I'll mix even personal to-dos on there too. That's kind of the sync that works for me. I know people use like Trello and like these like applications, and I'm kind of interested, so let me know if you guys are loving anything. I'm always like a nerd kind of for planning, even though my handwriting is trash. I just like the satisfaction of checking something off a list. It's truly unmatched. Next up, are you back on the dating apps / are you dating? I took a pretty long break from dating from like November, December, and then I started again in January. I mean, I'll say yes. It's not like the being of my existence. I'm like actively on them. I probably check them once a day. I would say yes. Dating apps right now I find are a great way to meet people. It's really hard because normally, of course, you're meeting people through friends of friends. You can, you know, go to bars and meet people. And I'm a pretty social person like that. Like I feel like that's how I will likely meet whoever it is in the future. Like I just have a feeling that it won't be from an app just because I thrive in person. Okay, nothing wrong with dating apps. Like I said, I'm on them and using them, but I can't wait till I can like meet someone in person again. You know, they say to like never say like you quit dating because that's always the time that like you meet the person. I will say like it's not my #1 focus, but like yes, I'm dating. Getting a pet. It seems like everybody on social media got a pet in the last like month or maybe even the last year. I don't know. All of my friends have dogs. I would love to adopt a dog. I'm more of a dog person than a cat person. I feel like a cat would be like great. It would be like chilling with me, but I really would like a dog. And I feel like at this point in my life, I wouldn't be able to provide that dog the happiest lifestyle. Like I said, my apartment isn't huge. There's not enough room for it to like run and play. I definitely have the time, of course, to like take it for walks and do everything, but I just feel like I wouldn't be like the best dog mom right now. And I really want to be at like a very stable place in my life when I get there. And I feel like right now I'm not there yet. And I just like have enough foresight to realize that. I also am a very impulsive person in the sense that like I'll take on a project or idea or something and do it for 2 weeks and then stop. Obviously you can't have that mindset when you get a dog. It can't just be like something that you want for 2 months and then it's done, because it's with you for however many years, probably like 12 plus, not anytime soon. Like seriously, I want to be like set up before I bring a dog into the picture because I want to be the best dog mom possible. How's your relationship with yourself doing? This is something we've talked about a lot recently on the podcast and in vlogs. You guys have seen me crying over this. It's been something I've been dealing with a lot with my therapist. We're getting there. You might be thinking it's 2 words, self-love. Like it's so simple, but it is so much more complicated than just, yeah, I'm practicing self-love. It's like truly the act of being able to look in the mirror and be like, I love myself, I'm strong, I'm whatever words you use to describe yourself. It's definitely improving through obviously therapy and through just being able to like look at myself differently. I'm kind of trying to shift that mindset, but it's really hard. And I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with and we don't really recognize it until we take a second to like step back and be like, wait, I am not being very kind to myself. The amount of times I like will put on an outfit and be like, God, like this sucks, like I don't like this. And I'm trying to reshape that. Why am I my own worst critic? Like I'm meaner to myself than like the haters. Like why am I like that? I should be my own #1 fan, my own #1 cheerleader. I feel like it's great that we're all on this sort of journey together of self-reflection, self-realization, and we'll get there. It's all good. Podcasts you listen to. So I obviously have my own podcast, Gals on the Go, with my friend Danielle Carolyn. It's been fun lately. I will say we've been having on some really interesting guests, and like I said, just diving into some deeper topics. The episode next week, I planned it, and it's gonna be an emotional one, so definitely check that out. Not that I'm the queen of podcasts or anything. I'm kidding, but I do listen to a ton of podcasts, so I'll give you some recs. #1, Girls Gotta Eat. It's 2 women in their 30s, dating, comedy lifestyle, I guess. They have on guests and they do like solo episodes. It's great. Next up, we met at Acme, New York City, dating, lifestyle. I just feel very empowered when I listen to those two. It's also from the lens of being like a strong, empowered woman, which I love and I need more of. And I feel very hyped up after I listen to those two. Third, The Skinny Confidential. I've been listening to them for years. I really appreciate that they have a bunch of different guests on, because I feel like I'm listening to people that I wouldn't normally be exposed to. So for like more guest heavy podcasts, I listen to them. And then my two go-to news podcasts that I try to listen to every day. I'm not gonna say I listen every day, but I try to listen every day. New York Times The Daily and NPR Up First. NPR Up First is quick. It's like 13, 14, 15 minutes and it gives you the top news headlines, and The Daily kind of similar, but they also dive deeper into specific topics. I feel like they make me a more like well-rounded worldly person. I watch the news, but I don't like sit and watch the news all day every day, so I feel like just getting like the top headlines is great. And last up, I just thought this one was funny and interesting. How'd you get your scar? If you didn't know, I try to cover it up, like you can kind of see it. I have a slice through my eyebrow. How do you guys think I got my scar? I got into a fight. No, I'm kidding. Oh my god, can you imagine? It does make me feel like a badass though. Sometimes I hate it, sometimes I feel like a badass. Is there even a way to remove it? Like, I don't even know about that. Some people think I got my eyebrow pierced. Some people just don't notice it at all. I look in the mirror every day and I forget at this point. When I was like 11, 12, we lived in a different house, and in our basement we had these big square shaped columns. I was with my friend, her like parents were coming to pick her up or something, and we like heard them upstairs, so I was rushing to clean up. As far as I know, this is what it was. I was so young, I was such a different time of life, but I was like dragging around like these bins, like putting away like toys or like whatever we were playing with. Do you play with toys when you're like 12? Yeah, you do, right? Was I 12? I might have been younger, I don't know. All I remember is that my brother was really young. Cleaning up, whatever, and I wasn't even paying attention, frantic, and I just turned around and like bashed my head straight like that into one of those columns. It hurt and everything, but then I went upstairs and I realized that I was just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, and my parents were like, we have to go to the hospital. Got a few stitches. Now it's here forever. I also have a scar you can't see. It's like pretty much gone now, but I did a this just goes to show like why was I like this. I did a backwards cannonball into a pool at a pool party. I had my friend Mayor's birthday party, who I'm still friends with, but I gashed open my chin because I didn't like jump far enough. Like, don't jump into a pool backwards. That's just like asking for trouble. Anyways, I bashed open my chin, but luckily that's like underneath now, but the eyebrow is still here. So I'm just gonna tell everyone I got into a fight and see like how they react, because that is so beyond off-brand for me. I've never been in a fight. I don't plan on getting into a fight, but I think it's funny. All right, and that's gonna be it for this video. I enjoyed catching up with you guys. I hope we chatted a little bit. Hopefully I answered your questions. Life is gonna be exciting moving forward. You know, I can't wait till I am eligible for the vaccine. I'm sure like many of you guys. I just can't wait until, you know, things get a little bit better, until it's spring. Like, I just can't wait. I feel like good things are around the corner, and it might not be like 1 month, 2 months, but like I see the light at the end of the tunnel, you guys. I feel really, really hopeful these days. Yeah, just really charged up and like good. I love you guys all so much, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Stay tuned for that. Love you guys. Bye.